Hello, my name is Simon Freitas, one of the co-hosts of the Freitas Effect podcast. Welcome to the Conversations with Creative segment. I am bringing you these episodes in collaboration with Entropy Theater for Entropyfest themed Emergence, which is a celebration of local emerging artists in the New England area. And the Freitas Effect is going to be serving as MCs on the weekends of May 20th through the 22nd and May 27th through the 29th. Ticket information is going to be on Entropy's social media platforms and in the description of these episodes and in our social media platforms and friggin' everywhere that we are. So look where we are. But who are we? So, I already said who I am. Now, who is with me? It is usually my co-host, but for today, it is just a magical artist who is the host of, well, she's also going to be the co-host of Entropyfest. What's your name? Who are you? How would you like the world to know you?
Hello, world. It is me, Azeb Freitas. You're formerly known as co-host of the Freitas Effect, but today I will not be co-hosting with Simon. Simon is co-hosting me.
Yes.
Yeah, so I go by she, her, hers. It's really weird being a guest on my own show, but here we are. I am, as I mentioned, one of the co-hosts of the Freitas Effect. I'm also a dance professional, arts educator, arts appreciator, artiste, creative. I do photography and modeling sometimes, and just your favorite retired community organizer from the Boston streets. Hello,
damn right.
Repping the dirty E, heavy on the E, if you heard. And yeah, I do a lot of advocacy and whatnot, especially with One Leaf. #donate. Follow at One Leaf Corp, where I serve as the creative director, and I'm trying to save the world from climate change. Okay, that's everything. For now.
Amazing. Nice to meet you. Great to have you on the show. Now, Entropyfest is, it's themed Emergence, and I am curious, Azeb Freitas, first time in the booth, first time on the show,
oh, shit.
First time talking about Emergence. What does Emergence mean to you?
Emergence. It means to rise.
Ooh.
To E. And merge.
Like the dirty E or
like
clean
the
E's?
dirty E.
Dirty E merge.
No, but Emergence, in general?
Yeah.
Because, I'm Captain Broad. I can get real broad.
Aye, Captain.
Aye. Yeah, I mean, I kind of see the word emergence as a verb.
Mm-hmm.
So, I forgot to look at the Merriam-Webster dictionary.
I was really looking at the Merriam-Webster dictionary.
So I think it's time to look at the Merriam-Webster dictionary, and I can do that on my own show because it is a tradition that we do often. So, emerge, according to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, is 1, to become known or apparent. 2, to become known or regarded as something. And 3, to rise or appear from a hidden or unknown place or condition to come into view. Which reminds me of the poem Still I Rise by Maya Angelou that I actually choreographed a piece to with Nozama Dance Collective in the year of 2020 during my artist residency. I'm just here to name drop like Kanye does.
Good.
Yeah.
Keep doing it.
Because, make
the people know.
I be working, y'all.
Yeah.
So
it's your time to emerge,
too. If
too.
you're asking me to hang out, I'm just going to tell you what I've been doing.
We're here to hang.
So, I'm sorry.
Wine clink.
Clink. I've got kombucha in my glass today.
I think I have gin and cranberry juice.
Yeah.
So
Simon's drinking that gin and juice. Way back. I don't even know if I actually said that right. So.
Well, we're gonna throw the sound clip in right here.
Yeah.
Make sure. All right. Awesome. Well, what are you most excited about for Entropyfest?
So much.
Yes.
First of all, it has been a lifelong dream. Just kidding. It has been it has been a goal for us as podcasters and co-hosts to actually host a festival.
Yeah.
And that's like a goal that we've had since we started the show, and we have hosted events virtually, our own Allies in Music Education's Black History Month.
We had a fundraiser for your birthday.
We had a whole fundraiser. But to literally be in a physical space, on a stage for the first time, since this might be my first time being on a stage or whatever in a space, actually performing or doing something in front of a group of people. I did a dance in October, but that was outside. It wasn't like at a thing. So this is kind of a big deal for me.
I think this is also my first time on stage since like my senior year.
Yeah, it's been a long time. So I'm really excited to just be a part of it and accomplish one of our big time goals, you know?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Especially since Grand Friday didn't work out and we couldn't end up having the Freitas Festival, so Entropyfest.
Yeah. Yeah, grants don't exist for podcasts, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. It's okay. We find other ways.
So if you're listening and you have money, give grants to podcast. Or to Azeb, because Azeb deserves money.
Just pay me.
Give her the money
just fucking
so that
pay
she
me.
can host a festival again, and maybe I could be with her, or maybe not, because this episode is about fucking Azeb goddamn motherfucking Freitas.
Okay.
All right. This is your
Faff?
day. Okay?
Faff?
Fucking goddamn Azeb motherfucking Freitas.
Oh, so
For the
wait.
gaff of motherfucking...
Amazing.
So, for the gaff of motherfucker,
Oh, yeah.
do you identify as an artist or an artist appreciator, an art appreciator? And when did you identify as such?
Yes, I identify as all those things. When is a great question. I feel like I've struggled with this for a long time. When I was a wee babe.
Wee little babu.
Yeah, I mean, way back in the day,
Way
my parents put me in dance, and I would say that dance was probably my first interaction with art. Yep, at Lisa Liston in Everett, Massachusetts, where I was doing tap and ballet. And, you know, combo, that's where we start, baby. 3 years old. And I didn't necessarily identify with being a dancer. I felt like I was mostly just put in dance to lose weight. Because I was a chubby chub. Yeah. And then I got taller, and that all changed, and it all went to my booty. But anyways, straying back to art, I guess my second interaction with art was in 5th grade when I started playing saxophone. And that was when I was like, ooh, I like music. I'm a musician. And so I wasn't connecting being a musician to being an artist. I was like, I just like playing music.
Yeah.
And then in high school, I got a little bit more into like photography.
I remember that.
Yeah, that was fun,
Yeah.
you know. And then I was forced into modeling. You know, Ethiopian second place, Miss Ethiopia pageant, whatever, in Boston.
Would have won, but it was a legal submission.
Yeah, because I was 17 and apparently whatever. But again,
weren't supposed to be winning,
I was forced into it.
And she still almost
but
won.
you know, gang, light skin privilege.
Blah, blah.
So
Damn right.
yeah, because
watch the play Schoolgirls if you want to learn about light skin privilege and modeling. But this is about Azeb again. Back to good afternoon.
Right. So I've dabbled in the scenes. I didn't. Again, still in high school, I wasn't identifying as an artist fully yet. And I was doing, like, mixed media, and I was doing, like, all the bands, you know, jazz band, concert band,
by that point, it's, like, music, dance, and photography. Like, you were...
I was doing a lot,
yeah.
you know.
And that's only the artistic side of the a lot that you were doing.
Yeah, that wasn't even the eldest daughter immigrant problem.
Yeah.
You know, that was just, like, for my own sanity.
Yeah.
And because, like, you know, creativity is a beautiful place to escape from reality. Not that I was doing that intentionally. I was just like, your girl needs joy in her life, so I'm gonna do the things that I like to do because a girl is talented.
Damn right.
So then let's see. I think I maybe kind of started considering myself as an artist my senior year.
Of high school?
Yeah, because the senior art show was happening.
Yes.
And my art teacher was like, you should submit these collage pieces. And I was like, oh shit, you think I'm cool? Because I just never thought I was like a standout person of an artist. My class had a lot of really like actually good people who were going to get like their undergrad in art, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go to business school.
I mean, it's so
and
hard,
I was never taken seriously or seen my whole life, so I just kind of was like, yeah, this isn't me. But then when I got to college, I studied arts administration because that was my only way I could stay connected to art. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, this is a really important thing in my life. And, like, so I knew I appreciated art. You know what I mean? And I had the, like, organizational skills to continue art. But I also knew that I had a thirst to continue creating. And so I stayed connected to music by volunteering at my high school's percussion ensemble, which was a really big influence on me as an artist and creative still to this day.
So wait, you were volunteering the first year, or?
I volunteered right after I graduated. So freshman year, I was volunteering. Sophomore year, I volunteered and then kind of disappeared a little bit because shit was getting a little weird. And then I did drum corps. I was on my dance company at college. The first time, I think this is when I really identified as an artist, was when I choreographed for the first time. And that was my sophomore year in college. So I think that is what made me identify as an artist, because I was able to really not only just do technique and whatnot, but like work with other creatives from my school and put on some really cool shit. And so when I graduated college, I was like, well, I still want to do this, you know? And so I just kept trying to find ways to do this, and I danced with Onstage Dance Company. After that, I continued teaching. I was teaching random classes as a guest instructor with Maddie, Madison Florence, my homegirl. You know, I always recruited people to do performances. And then we started this podcast, and, you know, I've been grateful to be able to continue to elevate other emerging artists on our platform. And I think that there's a lot of crossover between being an artist, being an organizer, and being an advocate, because you're just constantly creating space and just creating in general, you know? So I hope that answered the question.
Yeah.
Kind of went on a wild ride there.
No, I feel like you definitely touched on, like, being an artist, being an art appreciator, being an artist appreciator. Like, you know, like, appreciating the art, but also, like, appreciating, like, artists. Like, you know what I mean? Like, being able to, like, be in the shoes and be like, yeah, well, you know, that's not me because I'm not getting seen like that. And then being like, oh, well, maybe, you know, I could be seen like that. Like, yeah. I am curious, though. I don't know if I heard it. Did you mention the Box Center?
Oh, my God. Yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah. So, yeah, there's so many things. Well, I mean, I studied arts administration, and so part of that was to do internships at performing arts organizations, because I didn't want to do art history, and I did music history, and we didn't have a performance based focus at Simmons. So I worked at the Boston Ballet, and I met Melissa Alexis, my homie, my girl, my left mentor, Coach Love.
My yogi.
Yeah. The one and only.
Lead me to a higher vibration.
Yeah. Literally, go follow Cultural Fabric.
Do it.
It will change your life.
Right now. Please.
Yep, so Boston Ballet, I worked there for a bit, and then after that, I did a couple summers with the City Spotlight's Teen Leadership Program with what used to be known as the City Performing Arts Center, which is now known as the Box Center, still up and running, where I was the dance assistant and social... what was I?
Advocacy?
So yeah, I was the advocacy assistant as well.
Yeah.
That's where I met a lot of my good friends now, who are also creatives and artists, and just doing big things. And I'm just so proud of everybody that I've worked with from there, and just seeing people elevate and to continue to be connected. You know, it's really family.
Yeah, because we've even had a couple Box Center people on this podcast. I really wanted to give that shout out, like, it's...
accolades?
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
The word.
With the word.
Yeah, it's funny because it's like I've done so many things I just don't even know anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be like, I know you from this thing and I love you. Okay, bye. See, I guess that's what happens when you get old and you do a million things. But you know, it's cool because we're just constantly evolving and growing and changing, and that's life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, how did you find your path to the arts world?
Yeah, I feel like the arts world now for me I have a very different relationship with it than I did when I was trying to I wasn't trying to identify as an artist. When I like really came into my own and was like, okay, I'm an artist now, you know, I dealt with like an artist identity crisis in 2020 when, you know, everything was paused, and I was like, okay, what do I really actually want to do, you know? And I was grateful to be able to use that time to just do all things creative that I wanted to. You know, I did an artist residency. It was virtual, but like whatever. I performed in my friends in Madison's Hello, How Are We?
Yes.
And then was on a podcast for that, which was really cool. And that was an outdoor performance that happened during the pandemic, which is, you know, we're still in a pandemic, but whatever. And it was safe, I promise. And see, it was just cool to get paid for doing art, you know? And that was a big goal for me, was to stop doing shit for free. Because, like, you know when you know your worth and you're just like, I deserve to get paid for this shit because you're putting in mad hours and work.
Yep.
And, like, you're sacrificing time that you could be doing fucking sleeping.
And there's, like,
you know?
like, there's a certain point where you're just kind of like, all right, I'm not in high school anymore. Like, I'm not doing this for a class. I'm not doing this just because I want to make something.
Yeah, it's like, I'm doing this shit for me, man.
Yeah, like, I'm doing this because someone's commissioning it.
I'm also doing this shit because I'm good.
Yeah, because I'm a professional.
Yeah. I'm just like, I've been doing this shit for a fucking minute, you know? So I'm just like, fucking pay me. Pay me and everybody else, please.
Yeah, and pay them what their rate is.
Yes, like, don't ask them to do the homie discount. There is no homie discount. Fuck the homies.
No, yeah. Well, don't fuck the homies over, but, like, you know, like, just, like, pay people what they say.
If your artist friends are doing high quality shit, they're definitely underestimating how much that they're charging you, and you should give them a big fat fucking tip. Because they're not only doing their day jobs or not their day jobs, but they're not getting paid enough, okay? And they're contributing immense value to your fucking life.
They're putting their heart and soul into that.
Yep. But the thing that really, like, made me sit and think, like, okay, do I want to be an artist or do I want to be an arts administrator? Was I was taking this class with Optima, and Optima is like an entrepreneurship collective that supports artists and creatives and just entrepreneurs in whatever their like business endeavors are. And so I took this freelance class and I created a whole nonprofit that I was gonna I really did. Yep. And I was like, bet this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna quit my day job and and I'm just gonna do this, right? And then I was like, I don't want to do this, though. Like, I don't want to sit here and plan and strategize and admin and network or all of that shit. I was like, I don't want to apply for any fucking documentation. I don't want to have to fucking do all this grant writing shit. I was like, I just want to create fucking art, you know? So that's why I haven't started any type of business, because that shit's going to be on hold for a long time until I get my little exhibitions going that I've been, like, sitting on for a long fucking time.
Till the world opens up, like...
It's more than the world opening up, though. It's also about gaining stability.
Yeah, because that is important.
Because, you know, we've been going at this for, like, 2 years now with the panty, and this shit's taking a toll, and existing gets expensive, and the bills don't pay, so sometimes you gotta pause on shit so that you can get your life together.
Yep.
And then once you have your life together, you can do shit again. But...
Yeah.
It's also okay to create work without feeling like you have to monetize off of it. And I think that's another big thing that's come up for me is just like, I've made it really a core value to make sure that like, if I'm doing something creative, that I understand that like the intention behind doing this creative thing isn't to make money, because that's not my goal right now.
Yep.
My goal, if I'm doing something to make money, it most likely has less personal value to me and is not a direct reflection of like myself or as an artist or as a person. It's more of like, I'm just doing this shit to make some money, you know? And that's okay. Like, artistic integrity is a thing, but also like, you need to fucking make some money. Go ahead, sell your fucking art and do that shit. But like, it's not that deep if like, if that's what you're choosing to do, you know?
Yeah. I mean, as long as it's something that you still support, like, you know, as long as you're not making like
not
ads about like, go kill the beluga whales. Like, you know, it's like
yeah. As long as it's not like unjust or whatever. Unjust. I don't know words. But yeah, I think a big thing for me, I believe, I might be misquoting, but I believe Quincy Jones said this of like, whenever money touches the creative process, it just starts to get messy, and you just kind of lose your purpose, and it's not as like powerful because now you're chasing greed. You're not chasing the message or whatever you were working towards to like share. And it's not as genuine because now it's tainted, you know? It's tainted with greed. It's tainted with this like chase for profit. And again, that's capitalism, baby.
Well, profit, and then there's also like, I feel like a survival instinct that comes into it.
Yeah.
Of like, well, now I need this to keep like working, so it has to be perfect, and like, you know, it adds like an anxiety level. Like it's just all these negative connotations that come along with it.
Yep. And actually, the show that really did this for me, as I always mention, Insecure.
Always.
In this last season, there was a moment where, you know, Issa Rae's like living her like actual dream where she's running this like nonprofit thing where she's uplifting creatives from LA and Inglewood and just like putting on these like really dope shows. And I was like, do I want to be Crenshawn or do I want to be Issa? And I was like, I want to be Crenshawn. Like, not in the sense of like what he was doing specifically, but I was like, I just want to be a radical ass artist and mind my fucking business and be cool.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to do all the work. I want to do the work I want to do. I don't want to do the other work.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that
like
makes sense to y'all.
You want to do like your work, not the paperwork.
I don't want to do the paperwork.
Yeah.
Fuck the paperwork. I do the paperwork from a 9 to 5, you know?
Damn right.
I'm like, fuck the paperwork. Y'all can do the paperwork. Paper as in pay me.
Get my people to do the paperwork to pay me to do my work.
Period.
Period.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of period. Wait. How would you say you have educated yourself to hone your artistic skills?
So I can speak mostly from after college. Ways that I've stayed intact with that is just by continuing to go to classes, the Dance Complex, Urbanity, and literally anyone who's hosting a dance class. I just did my homework. Like, I really would, like, just Google search, okay, what classes are happening this week at, like, any dance studio. Rest in peace, Green Street and Brookline Dance Academy. Tragedy in the dance community. But, yeah, through teaching, through working with other artists and, like, learning from their stuff, of, like, how they approach things.
So how have you experimented with other art forms or collaborating on projects with other types of artists and creatives?
So, in other people's projects that I've been a part of, I believe in intersectionality. So, you know, just kind of blending in multiple mediums, right? So, for example, if you're doing a dance piece and working with a stylist to pick the costume for you. Actually, one of my favorite collaborations I've ever done with Azeb was I was modeling for her, but she wanted a dancer to be the model, and we were shooting for like a solid 5 hours.
Was that the movement shoot?
Yeah, it was really cool. And she basically had me like in a bunch of layers of clothes, and I had to like take the layers off through movement, and I would like pose and whatever, and it was like pretty much down until I was like almost naked. It was really cool, and like even the movement that you could see in between the shots, it was just like constant, and it was just like consistent. It was, like, and so it was dope because even the vibe, first of all, it was all black women. Shout out to the shooter Shelly. And we were at the Dorchester Art Project. Like, everything about it was black, first of all. All black clothes, all black music, all black people.
Hell yeah.
And that was, like, you know, obviously just, like, you know, default Azeb. Because that's just, like, how it should be. But there was, like, levels, you know. There was photography happening. There was dance happening. There was music in the background. There was fashion. There was, like, the environment was just there for all like full collaboration mode. You know, you're like meeting other people that you're working with. You're in a space that fosters that kind of stuff to happen naturally. So that was really cool. That was one of my favorite projects that I did that was an example of that.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even, like, when you see the final product, like, I don't know, I feel like you can just tell that the people are actually enjoying themselves when they're doing that kind of work. Because it comes out so well, and then it's, like, those moments where it's just, like, you know, where you are like, oh, well, you know, we did this a few times because it's like, you know, it's like,
oh, yeah,
because you're enjoying yourself, and then it's like, oh, shit, and then that random thing happened that's just, you know, it was
That's
so cool.
That's the beauty of, like, photography, too, is that, like, it's just a moment, but you can remember the before and after. That's not just the actual image, you know, because the image is that moment, but, you know, there was a whole bunch of other stuff happening in time before and after, which is pretty cool. Yeah.
And you would never know this if you only were a dancer.
Exactly. For real.
Interdisciplinary.
Yeah, and I've been thinking about that a lot. I actually was talking about this with Uncle Nicky recently. Hashtag Uncle Nicky.
Uncle Nicky.
Just about how, like, it's okay to cheat on your first love. Or what you think is, like, your...
Wait.
Okay, listen. Let me finish the sentence.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I meant to say, like, what you think is, like, your main craft, right? Like, it's okay to cheat on that. So, like, you know, normally I identify as, like, a dancer, right? But now I just say I'm a creative because I do fucking everything.
Yeah.
But also, like, you know I'm known for being a dancer, but also, like, I think it's okay to, like, leave some of that piece of your identity behind to just go explore other ways of being an artist or being a creative, because you might actually enjoy doing all that other stuff way more.
Yeah.
And it's not a matter of not being talented. It's just a matter of being fucking happy. You know, and it's not. And I have a very complex relationship with dance, just because it's really tied to a lot of trauma with my body. And I've been trying to redefine that relationship and just understand my body more and, like, what triggers that kind of shit. But you could ask any dancer. We all got trauma from just, like, our body image and, like, our expectations of ourselves and how we perceive ourselves compared to others. It's just really not a great environment, community, in terms of that shit. But it is evolving and changing because of people like me and my colleagues who are actively talking about it and making sure that when we teach that we don't impose those same things on the next generation of artists, you know?
I love that. Because it is important to end that generational trauma and, like, not to speak those things that you've been told just because you think it's going to help someone. But
because that's all you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In more positive questions, what are you working on now? And are you working on anything? What are you doing?
I feel like recently, whenever we do any of these shows, I just bring the fucking energy down.
Nah, the world's depressing. Everyone's sad.
Everything sucks.
Well, it does. We're not gonna lie to you guys. That's part of the show. We are authentic.
We're so honest. Can't help it. Oh God, what am I working on? There's so much. Give me like 2 minutes. I need to like pause and think. I do have a couple of projects in the works. I don't know if I'm really allowed to speak about them yet, but there's one that I'm really excited about. I don't know when it's going to actually be launched into the world, but you know, just do what you guys do and just follow me where you follow me. I'm gonna have a website soon, so that will be another place where you can find information and see everything else that I've done.
Hell yeah.
And that I'm doing. Obviously I'm working on Entropyfest. We love Entropy. And that's like pretty much it right now. I kind of just am really focused on being a human being first at this moment, because there's a lot of transitional stuff going on, but it's all for the best. Always, you know, I'm doing my little random, I know what I'm doing. Sometimes I just need to babble a little bit to get there. Yeah, I actually started directing photo shoots, which is really cool, with my boy, Dre Stickhouse.
Yes.
And just like with a couple of other photographer friends. So that's been cool to explore, like directing a shoot and not being the shooter or the model.
Yeah.
But like just creating the vibe and like putting the production together. So that's been really fun to explore in this year. I never actually really saw that coming. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, because it's kind of talking about what even the last question, like how it's like, you know, you never really know until you just go off and try something new, and it's like you can enjoy yourself. You can, and even like photo shoots, like, you know, it's like you started off with dancing and now you're directing photo shoots.
Especially
you know?
since I was forced into modeling.
Like, what a journey. Like,
yeah, it's been really interesting. And I think another thing I've been really focused on is submitting work that I've already created to things that already exist. So I'm not doing more work for myself.
I love that.
So there's an exhibit that I've submitted some stuff for. There's another exhibit that I want to curate for. So yeah, just keep your eyes open on my website. Hopefully it'll be available by the time this episode is released.
Do you know what the domain is going to be?
I don't have a goddamn clue.
Alrighty.
So y'all finna find out.
On Azeb social media pages.
Yeah, so you can follow me on Instagram at AZEB 3_. Don't even try to find me on Twitter. Don't try to find me on Facebook. Yeah, because it's a wild world out there in the socials. But Instagram's probably the safest place for you. You can add me on LinkedIn if you want. I'm free there. Yeah. Oh my god! I also forgot that I work with Urbanity.
Oh my god, yeah!
You see what I'm fucking saying? Yeah, so I work with Urbanity as a studio administrator, so that's been really cool. You know, yet just to be in the space. And that's like the closest I can get to being in the dance community right now.
I think that's important too.
It's like the safest for me is just being in the space so that I'm still connected to the community, but not actually contributing artistically. And just focused on training. Yeah. You know, I cannot do a leadership position right now. I cannot teach a class right now. That's just not where I'm at this stage of my life right now.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of that for the past, 7 fucking years. And I deserve rest.
Yes. It is important for people to get rest.
At some point I'll be back.
Yeah.
But right now,
not today.
We just believe in chill.
Thank you so much for joining us, Azeb. We are so excited to have you as a host of Entropyfest. I'm so curious of what the other host is going to be like. He's, I heard he's a cutie. But thank you guys for listening. Hope to see you guys in May. You guys can get your tickets in our social medias, in Entropy social medias, and everywhere that I said earlier. So, goodbye. Love you.
Bye.